And so now YouTube is going to move to this sort of uh, potential pay model where you could skip all the annoying ads and pay, $10 a month and get all the YouTube content you want. Now, the problem that some people thought they might have was, well, what if the content providers, all the producers and celebrities on YouTube don't want to? Well, I think YouTube has figured that out. And they're kind of forcing everybody to sign on. In fact, YouTube just came out and said that to video producers, if you sign the deal, or all of your videos, even on the free side, vanish. So they're not going to have a choice. So again, this is, people putting, there are some people that make, 6 and 7 figures off of YouTube alone. There are people, they're big. And you're talking, YouTube is so huge now. What is it like? 6 billion videos are played annually on YouTube. There's only 7 billion people on the planet. So with that many views, and you have a lot of people on YouTube who have, subscribers in the hundreds of thousands to their channel. And these guys are like, regular Hollywood and New York City producers. They produce a daily or a weekly or a monthly program, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people watch those shows that they produce. Some are like 5 minutes or so or what have you. And some are really detailed and involved and longer, up to 30 minutes or so. But people enjoy this stuff. And because they have so many subscribers and, so many viewers, they have this, I don't know exactly how YouTube's algorithm works, but they have this revenue sharing model with the producers of this content that, they make so much money, they get a percentage of that. And that's how they're making their 6 and 7 figures, as well as off of this advertising revenue. Well, nobody knows. Well, YouTube knows, but I don't know the details of how they're going to pay the content providers with a subscription model. Now there's still going to be the free side, I do believe. But YouTube is betting on that people will pay $10 not to have commercials. And there will probably be a lot of people because at first it'll be fashionable, it'll be the end thing. Hey, I got YouTube Red. That's what they're calling it. YouTube. I have YouTube Red. You only have the free YouTube. Oh, you sucker. So trust me, YouTube is going to depend on that to start garnering their first blast of customers signing up for this. And after a while, that type of thing will probably fade. There won't be a stigma versus, viewing it commercially or commercial free. But by then, people who have signed up, most of them will figure, yeah, I kind of like not having all the commercials thrown at me, so I'm going to keep paying the $10 a month. And look, that's how Netflix got people. The convenience of it, as well as the fact that, hey, there's no commercials. The content is there whenever you want it. Kind of like, HBO, but it's not HBO. And it's cheaper than HBO. So people are like, okay, cool. They signed on for it. I did. And I've been, with them for 15 years now. 2001, 2002, I think is when I first signed up. And when they decided to split their content and separate the subscription, because there was a point when they brought out their streaming service, if you were already a customer and you got the DVDs, so you got the content, you got the streaming content, and then they raised the price a little bit. And I guess enough people grumbled about it, and then Netflix said, "Hey, you know what we'll do? We'll split." It was a brilliant move. We'll split the services. Now, here's the thing. I think I was paying 15 or 16 bucks a month. 15 bucks a month to get 3 DVDs at a time and the streaming side. Netflix decides to split it. This is capitalism at its best, folks. People complain, well, I don't have to pay 15 bucks a month. And so Netflix, you know what? You'll pay $8 a month. Oh, $9, $8.99 if you want the streaming. And you'll pay $7.99 if you want the DVDs. Only 2 at a time, not 3. And so some people thought, well, I'll still do both. And they ended up starting to pay more for the dual service than they were paying before. Beautiful. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, people, and they were happy for it. They were happy to, because they had a choice now. They had a choice. That was it. But YouTube, I guess, is going to give you the choice. But if you're producing content for YouTube, you don't have a choice. Either you provide your content to be used on YouTube Red, or YouTube Regular is YouTube No Color is you're going to be gone. That's also the case for other online media content providers, such as news outlets and newspapers online and other stuff. Content paywalls on agenda for digital media news sites. And this is because a lot of these, they found out that they can't do it. From the Financial Times, by the way, financialtimes.com. They realize that they can't do it without that revenue because they're losing advertisers. And they're going to charge based on per week or per month, depending on what site you go to. You already have the New York Times only allows you to read like 5 or 6 articles in full per month without paying, and then you got to pay their subscription fee. Wall Street Journal is in order to read all their full content is by subscription only. There's a bunch of other ones, but more and more are looking at that model because they're not generating the cash from ads. Because let's face it. When it comes to ads online, people oftentimes don't even really see them. Which is why there's a certain type of content, which you don't see on my site. There's this type of content ad, that there's an ad within the content that you're reading. And it's not a visual pictorial ad. It's a word ad. And a lot of times you look over to the side and you'll see, it'll give you list of stories that you can click on, but within those stories, those headlines are also headlines for ads. And the headlines are very clever for the ads because it looks like a news story, and you go over and, whoa, what's that about? And you click on it, and next thing you know, it's an ad. You see an ad for something. Now, that stuff works, but people are also getting a little sophisticated for that. I don't fall for that. I used to fall for it all the time. I rarely fall for that trick now. I can weed out on those types of ads. What's an ad and what's not. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a specific site that is very big on the conservative side from a very big radio talk show host. He has those things on his site. I don't have them on mine. When you see an ad on my site, it's a little square box. It's a picture. You know it's an ad. And I don't put any ads within in the content. I know some people do, and some people do the reason why your words are different color, and you click on you scroll over or you click on it by accident. It's an ad. I don't have those. I don't. I'm not trying to trick people into, viewing something that they really weren't intending to view. I don't know. Maybe someday, as the program gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it costs more and more and more to keep all that stuff up and running, maybe I'll have to switch to something like that. But at this juncture, I don't see myself going to a subscription site at all. And some of the these people have they have the free side and subscription side, and that subscription side for those guys generates them a lot of money. I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. Because look, I'm here to give you information, and the information is important to help our country. Why would I want to charge you for that? I'm just saying. RodEccles.net is completely free, all of it. There's no subscription side. You got to. I don't have a video side anyway, but there's no video side that you got to pay for. There's no 24/7 side you got to pay for. There's no you can get my programs 24/7, 365 for free. And if somebody's charging you for my content, you let me know, because my content is absolutely totally free. Plain and simple. Now, if I give you a link to somewhere and it ends up being paid content, well, I don't have any control over that. But I don't pay for any news sites. I don't pay for anything. But if you click on a link and you've used up all your free stuff, like say on the New York Times, I can't help you because I haven't. Which is why you see the link. Yeah, everybody's going to this paid content stuff, at least a side of it. And there are economic reasons behind it, and I fully understand it. I don't have a problem with it. And evidently, because people pay the fees, the American public doesn't have a problem with it either. The problem I see coming down the line is, just a few people will scream loud enough, especially the low income people who can't afford to have who can't afford to pay all these extra subscriptions are probably going to scream a little bit to the government. And the government's going to do one of two things. Say they're going to put a limit on how much you can charge for content online, or they're just going to subsidize people. Either way, it's going to cost those of us who are actually working and paying the bills more money. That's really what it comes down to. But yeah, so that's at this. Well, it might even get worse because the FTC is trying to come up with a way to put a lot of us out of business online. With this new copyright type of stuff. You won't be able to even give a link to somewhere. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. We're actually sending another website more viewers, readers, what have you, and the FTC is going to tell us, well, no, that's copyright infringement, so you can't do it anymore. Well, I can tell you in a very short period of time, if they were to bring that rule down and then they were to enforce it on the American American side of the internet, that a lot of American companies would shortly thereafter start screaming bloody murder, because they would see that their views and visits would plummet. Let's face it, people like Drudge send a lot of traffic to these otherwise, obscure online news sites that nobody would really go to on a regular basis to find out anything. But, hey, just because the liberals are out there thinking, well, it's not fair that you can just push the link and make money off of that link by sending it to somebody else. Well, somebody's got to pay for the website. Right? Websites aren't free. Trust me, I know. I've owned quite a few of them and paid a lot of money for some of them. Websites aren't free. But, liberals, they don't work, so they don't understand.